With Part the Mistveil already shaping up to be a super fun and powerful set, you gotta know what singles to buy before they shoot up in price, so today I'll be going over exactly that. Hello and welcome to the table, and today I'm going to be going over the top 3 singles to get for each deck coming out of Part the Mistveil. But before I get into that, I am going to note this super quick, that I am going to be moving into the Classic Constructed, and the first Classic Constructed gameplays that I am going to be putting up and deck techs are for Part the Mistveil, but I'll be getting into that next week. But with all that aside, let's talk about the top 3 single picks for each hero coming out of Part the Mistveil. Starting off with Zen, I do have an honorable mention. It's more of a note than an honorable mention, but still. Ancestral Empowerment. If you don't already have 3 copies of Ancestral Empowerment, what are you doing? Ninjas, in every format, need a full playset of this card. If you don't have this card in your deck, what are you doing? You need to get this card. It's only $7.60 right now. Get this card because it's gotta shoot up to probably $10 a piece, at least. Get this card now if you don't already have a full playset, because what are you doing if you don't? But anyways, getting into number 3, we got Breeze Rider Boots. Now, this card's already busted in Katsu, and Zen is looking to be a very big combo deck. Crouching Tiger combo, that kind of stuff, right? Well, you're not always going to be able to Crouching Tiger combo, and a lot of cards that are going to have combo that care about Crouching Tigers are going to be a bit above rate in the fact that you don't need as much setup. So a lot of these cards aren't going to have natural go again, and Breeze Rider Boots is going to allow you to fix that if you don't have, always have the Crouching Tiger combo line. Plus, Breeze Rider Boots blocks for 1, and it allows you, again, to set up all of your attacks to have go again, not just 1, all of your attacks with combo to have go again on your big combo turn. So yeah, Breeze Rider Boots at $5.50, considering the fact how good it's most likely going to be in Zen, get it. Just get it. But getting into number 2, we have Tiger Swipe, which is another $5 card that is incredibly good because it's a 0 cost to attack. But if you've attacked with the Crouching Tiger, the last combat chain, this is a 4 attack with go again that's going to put more Crouching Tigers into your hand. That's pretty damn good. But in combination with the next card, oh good god, it is insane. So let's get into number 1, Roar of the Tiger, because this card is basically an Art of War for Crouching Tigers, because it creates a Crouching Tiger in your hand, and all of your Crouching Tiger attacks for the turn get +1 power. That's right, and this is a yellow that blocks for 3, so yeah, this card's nuts. At $10 a piece, this card is a must in Zen, and I mean, in combination with the last card, Tiger Swipe, it just seems kind of nuts. You play Roar of the Tiger, you play a Crouching Tiger that's coming in for 1, then you play Tiger Swipe, you get more Crouching Tigers into your hand, you play a Crouching Tiger, then you play a combo thing, then you play a Crouching Tiger, then you play a combo thing, then you activate Zen, create a Crouching Tiger, then get another combo thing that does stupid busted stuff. Roar of the Tiger is basically going to be the bread and butter of your combo turns for Zen, I'm predicting right now. Unless they make another big one for Zen. I think this is just probably going to be either the big bread and butter backbone to your combo turns, or is going to be a kind of line that you can have to have a big combo turn with Zen. So this card just seems nuts, and there's a reason that this is my number 1 pick. Get it. Just get it. But then we got New, and I have an actual honorable mention for New because there are so many cards in New that are just gonna be so good in your deck. Like Eradicate, which is a 1 cost, 4 attack, so that's another breakpoint. And when this hits, for each damage that this card is dealt, banish the top card of the opponent's deck. And this is a yellow. So, one's got Contract, it's going to be making me some silvers possibly. But what matters is this card is basically, because it's Assassins, always going to be banishing a ton of cards off of the opponent's deck. I mean, this card, 1, demands the opponent to block with multiple cards, either with 1 card and equipment, or sometimes even 2 cards. And maybe even equipment, who knows? But Eradicate just demands that the opponent blocks because of how much value you can get out of this. Now, this card was already good, but in New, I just think it's going to be kind of insane. And it's only $4 a piece. Get it? So this card is just nuts. This card is going to be nuts in new, and you gotta get it for new. But getting into number 3, we have Infiltrate, which, another card is gonna be nuts. I mean, it checks off all the boxes in new. It's got Stealth. It's a 0 cost, 3 block. Doesn't have Go Again, unfortunately, but if it hits, banish the top card of the opponent's deck. You may play it this turn. Well, that's a pretty cool line, allowing you to play an opponent's thing off the top of the deck, but most of the time, what's gonna matter is it allows you to banish multiple cards at once, because cards with Stealth allow you to banish all the cards that block it on the combat chain. This card demands blocks, so it's going to be banishing cards from the combat chain, and if it hits, which again, Assassins, it's gonna hit, you get to banish another thing off the top. So you're just banishing so many cards, or can potentially banish so many cards with Infiltrate, it's just nuts. And $5.50 a piece, you gotta get it. But then getting into number 2, we have Surgical Extraction. Now this is a 2 cost, 4 attack, another breakpoint. And it's got Contract, not Stealth. But when this hits, you banish the top card of the opponent's deck. If it's a blue, you get a silver. Then you get to look at the opponent's hand and banish a card from their hand, which is going to be a blue, which is going to allow you to get, if this hits, a minimum of 1 silver, maybe even 2, which Equipment and Assassins really care about you having that second silver token. But here's the thing. Surgical Extraction is going to screw your opponent's turn up so badly if this hits, because you get to banish a blue from their hand, which is going to allow you to get value, and is going to make it harder for your opponent to play because they just lost a blue, which is most likely going to allow them to play way less on their turn than they would have otherwise, or sometimes even nothing. This card is nuts. You gotta get it. It's $15, but you gotta get it. This card is nuts. But then we got Leave No Witnesses, the #1 pick. And this card is insane, because it's a 0 cost, 4 attack. There's another breakpoint. But this card says, if it hits, you banish the top card of the opponent's deck. That doesn't matter as much. You also get to banish a card from their arsenal. So like with Surgical Extraction, this card just completely screws over your opponents and adds 0 resources. Now to be fair, getting rid of a thing from the arsenal is way worse than getting rid of a thing from hand, but still, a lot of decks arsenal a thing in order to set up your big, massive power turns, right? Well, this card demands that the opponent blocks or that power turn goes away. Because you play this when they got an arsenal. You're always going to play this when the opponent has an arsenal. And they are going to want to probably save that arsenal because they're probably setting it up either to have a good turn or set up to have their power turn and have 5 cards in hand and just go bonkers nuts. But this card just says, okay, there goes that power turn, there goes that better turn than you had before. Or they just block with cards and the turn still works for them. So yeah, this card is absolutely nuts, and at $12 a piece, you gotta get this. This card's absolutely nuts. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. But then getting into Enigma. The cards, my picks get a little bit more stretched because Enigma, right now, is a little bit of an enigma. Why is that? Well, Zen and New is pretty easy to tell what the decks are wanting to do. I mean, Zen's just like, okay, I'm Crouching Tiger, go. New is wanting to banish cards, banish blue specifically, and allow you to storm off. Pretty simple. But Enigma is interesting in the case that, yeah, you're wanting to make Spectral Shields, but that seems to be it, at least stapled onto the card. And it's just like, okay, what else is the deck wanting to do? Is it wanting to play auras to go alongside with those Spectral Shields and then just allow you to further your gameplay more efficiently, which is what I think it's going to be. But maybe it's something else. Maybe it's like, okay, maybe just like all those cards from Dynasty that cared about Spectral Shield attacks, like if you control the Spectral Shield, you can attack with those, and you're just like Spectral Shield's Illusionist aggro, or Illusionist attack control, or like what's the deck going to be? We're not sure. So these picks are a bit more stretched, but what I think is the deck's going to be is it's a more control-y deck, which is Spectral Shields, play auras to go alongside them, and just allow you to have more efficient turns. But the first pick, again, is a bit stretched, but I think it's worth it, because it's Crown of Reflection. Now, this card's seen play in the past in Illusionist decks. This card has been good before, and if this card winds up being super powerful in Enigma, because this card can allow you to get Illusionist auras into play super easily, which is really awesome. Plus, it's got Arcane Barrier on it, which is super good. But if this card winds up being really good in Enigma, it shoots up from $1, which is what it's at right now, to like $10, and everybody's like, oh, I gotta get it. Well, that sucks. You have to spend $10 on a card that was once $1. Well, if you spend $1 on this, it ends up being crap, whatever. You got this card that's been good in Illusionist before, it's gonna be good again. But if this card winds up being super good, that $1 investment could be a $10 investment. Bit of a stretch, I know, but who knows? Who knows how good this card could be? But then getting into number 2, we got Shimmers of Silver. Now this card is $9 and is nuts. This card is bonkers nuts. Because every single thing that has ever had Spectra has been kind of nuts in Illusionist, and this is just another card that showcases that. Because, as a once per turn effect, when you attack with an Illusionist aura, put a +1 power counter on it. Well, Spectral Shields already got a +1 power counter on it most of the time thanks to Enigma's ability. But now, you're going to be Shimmers to Silvering them, and now they're going to be attacking for 2, and then for 3, and then for 4, and then for etc, etc. Now, it's only going to buff up one thing at once, which kind of sucks, but to be fair, those Spectral Shields are going to be going away pretty quickly, because they have Ward 1, basically. So, it's not a super bad thing that Shimmers is only going to buff up things like one at a time, because they're going to be going away super quick, but it still allows you to come in for more damage. And this card, again, is a Spectra card, and it's a blue, and it costs 0, and it's $9 right now. It is not going to stay at that price, so get it. But getting into number 1, this is just kind of furthering the reason why I think Shimmers of Silver will be super good in Enigma, because it's Miraging Metamorph. Miraging Metamorph is a 1 for 7. For 7? But it has Phantasm, so you block with a 6 and it pops and it goes away and you don't have to deal with it anymore. Except, if this card gets popped, if it goes away and it gets Phantasm and dies, you get to make a token copy of an aura you control, like a Shimmers of Silver, or any of the other auras that can potentially be good in Enigma, if Enigma, cares about auras, which most likely she's going to, but Miraging Metamorph, 1 demands blocks, and if it gets blocked by a 6 or more and gets popped, well now, it just furthers your game plan even further. And it's just a lose-lose situation for your opponents. And at $13 a pop, see what I did there? But still, at $13 a piece, this card is going to be good in Enigma. I don't care. This card is going to be a 3 of in Enigma. I will bet my life savings on it, which is nothing. But still, $13 a piece, you gotta get 3 copies of this, because I would be willing to bet that this is going to shoot up to a minimum of $20 to $25 a piece when Part of Mistveil comes out. And that is a definite worthwhile investment. But anyways, with all that aside, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, it's completely free, you won't regret it. And if you think I missed any cards, or I didn't mention any cards, or talk about certain lines of cards, leave a comment down below, and enjoy Part of Mistveil, everybody!